is Cheryl and welcome to my channel. This is Star Garden at Stitchery, and today I have a Flosstube extra for you. So this Flosstube extra is going to be a stash dive slash WIPs, but it's going to be a Patriotic edition. So everything I'm going to show you today is all Patriotic. It does not include my quilt WIPs because that's a different thing and I need more space for that. So we're gonna just do cross stitch, and I do have a like one, it's quiltish, but it's like a applique type deal. So I have a few WIPs, and then I have a bunch of stash. So some things are kitted, some things are just patterns, some things have only floss, some things have just the fabric. And yeah, so I thought, since you know we're in May now, I thought, what could we do that would be fun and would be like getting us into the summer patriotic stitching thing. And I thought this would be fun because then I can kind of figure out what things I want to stitch this year. I do have plans for next year because it's the 250th birthday or bicentennial. No, what is it called? The one that it is that my brain is fading on right now. That's what our birthday is next year. So I have plans for that, and I've kind of been collecting things. Also, if you hear any like coughing or clearing nose or any of that kind of stuff, my youngest son is over there on the couch hanging out, and so he's here, and then the dog is right here. So right there, she's right there. All right, so let's get into it first. So I'm going to show the WIPs first because there's a lot less of that. This is a buttermilk basin kit. Not kit. Yeah, it was a kit. It came with the shapes already lasered and had all the glue stuff on it already. So I actually got the kit where the it's flannel on flannel is the way that this kit was done, and it's super cute. You can get just the pattern, and then you can make all of these pieces be wool, which is, you know, cool. But this was a way for me to get this where it was less expensive. I didn't have to do anything really except for cut the pieces off of the backing and attach it to the background fabric. So I'm going to show you where I'm at. So it's already pre-fused down. It's wrinkly because I took it to baseball, but I started stitching down the shapes. So this is where I'm at. I've already completed the fall one, which is like a Halloween theme, and I need to fully finish that. So you'll see that in an upcoming video once I get it fully finished. But yeah, so these are all flannel except for these prairie points down here, but I will still stitch those down so they don't move because they're only held down with like applique glue, which is not gonna do a lot over time. So yeah, so it's buttermilk basin. It's called Summer Sewing Machine. It's 16 by 20. So it's meant to be like part of a series, like a quilt that has all 4 seasons. But 2 of the seasons have the sewing machine where the throat of the machine, it like is going the other way. So like it's going like this, and that's just, my brain doesn't work that way. I cannot make it be backward. I don't like it. So I will not be stitching those. But anyways, so that's that. I do have one Mirabilia that is a patriotic stitch. I do have the actual chart. However, the chart is worth lots of money and I don't want to ruin it. So I just have the picture and a working copy in my bag. It is Queen of Freedom by Mirabilia. And I am stitching mine on 32 count linen in the color Vintage Sahara by Zweigart 2/2 with called for floss and beads and all that business. And nothing is ironed because literally I decided to do this today. So I kind of threw this video together. I thought it'd be fun since I was going to be going through my stash anyways. So that is where I currently am. So I actually am using the same fabric. I was inspired by Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. She finished this a few years ago, and I was very inspired by her fabric choice, which is the same one. So I asked her which one she uses, and I know she had mentioned it on her, what do you call it, like on her channel. So I just was very inspired, and she's so kind. And yeah, so this is a restart. And now that like I had cut my fabric, and now I'm a little concerned that it's not going to fit. So we'll see. We'll see what's happening. I might have to restart it again on a new piece of fabric, which is fine because Zweigart is less money than like an overdyed, but you know, I don't want to have to be rebuying things all the time. So anyways, yeah, but this is like an old school House of Stitch and Stash Rika bag that I've had for a long time. So that is that WIP. I started this on 4th of July many years ago. So yeah. Okay, so you've seen this one recently. This next one, it is Talk to Me Goose by Dirty Annie Southern Style. I am stitching mine on, I'm like literally in the middle of a thread. So I am stitching this on 36 count platinum by Weeks Dye Works. And I am not using the called for floss color, which is Pea Pod. No, I said that last time. Pea Coat by Weeks Dye Works. I am instead using Blue Corn. And I think the reason why I decided to use that color versus Pea Coat is because at the time I was kitting this, Pea Coat for some reason was hard to get where I was at. So I had this in my stash and I'm like, that's good enough. That'll be great. So that's what I am stitching that. And then in this bag, I have 2 Patriotic WIPs. And the second one, let's see. Wait, there it is. Okay. So it is Liberty Hill by Shepherd's Bush. Let me take it out of the bag so you can actually see the picture because it's through plastic. There we go. Super cute. You can only get this one through Shepherd's Bush. It does come with a painted mat. It's a full kit. You get everything. You get everything: floss, fabric, pattern, the matting for the thing. They even have the frame that is pictured here. They sell that at Shepherd's Bush. I got this when I went to Stitch West a couple years ago. So, and okay, so this is I'm going to just show you where I'm at. I'm literally on the hill. And I think what I was doing was this one was going with me to baseball, and I had to have it. I was going to originally stitch it in hand, but I was finding out very quickly that I didn't want to do that. So I put it into a like a 6x6 Q-snap. Yeah. So that's how far I have got to. I have this in a little baby bag made by Bella Rose Needleworks. And it is not Patriotic, the bag. But it's cool. It doesn't matter. So I have this in there. And I keep this part, like the original. I have a working copy and a picture with the stitch. So I'm like, what is this? I know what it is. But then I have the actual pattern with the mat over here so it doesn't get bent or, you know, like ruined. That would be a big bummer. So I have it elsewhere, kind of like I have for Queen of Freedom. So, okay, so I'll stick that. And that one's done. And I can stick this back in here, put everything back where it belongs, or I will have a giant mess. So yeah, the next one I have is what is this? A little Stitch Girl. It's called Star Spangled. Super cute. I use this pattern to teach someone how to stitch. So I am stitching it on Aida with DMC instead of like Fancy Floss because it was like meant to be a learning piece. I think it's even like a 14 count. I'm not even positive. I don't think I have anything in here that tells me what it is. I have what my conversion is. That's it. Yeah, I have no idea what this fabric actually is. But it's okay. It's like a blue-gray color, which is kind of blowing out a little bit in this light, but you can kind of see it there. So, and the reason why I have this fabric on here is to get it in a Q-snap, because my fabric was small and I wanted it to fit into an 11 by 11 without having to move the stitch. But that's how far I've got to. Okay, and one thing that, okay, these are little patterns. They are 82 by 66, but it's like full coverage stitching. It's a lot of stitching. So they're deceiving. There's a deceptive amount of stitching in the piece. But it's super cute though. I'm looking forward to getting this one done. And it's fun to do. I know I'm doing this with 2 strands. So it must be either 16 count or 14 count. I can't recall because this was started many moons ago. And it just kind of was sitting in my stash. Like it wasn't in with my WIPs. It was like put somewhere else and I forgot about it. Oops. Okay, so this next one is a stitch that I started at a retreat. And this is not everybody's cup of tea, so I get it, but I like it. So it is called Size Matters by Dirty Annie Southern Style. And it calls for Mother's Milk by Lap and Loops, which is like a gold. But I did not have any of that. But at the retreat I was at, I decided to pick up, what is this? 18 count Aida by Be Stitch Me in the color Meadows. And I have literally a start on this because I had no time when I was at the retreat because I was actually working the retreat. But that's where I have. I'm literally at the curly Q of the S right there. That's where I am. So it's pretty sad start, but I am converting things. I was just pulling from stash. So it uses like Weeks Dye Works and Classic Colorworks. And I have a bunch of stuff in this bag. Oh yeah, who this is from. Got it. Because I got this bag at the retreat. So I wanted to remember who gave it to me. And it came with this cute, like, oh, here's the color. Black Coral by Dinky Dyes is what I'm using for Coal by Weeks Dye Works. And I'm using Porpoise, which is called for. And I don't know if I am using, what other color I'm using, if I even pulled that yet. I have not pulled that yet because I was just pulling what I had, I think. It's cool. Like I said, a start. Oh, here's a pencil. Let me pull that out. My kids are always wondering where our school pencils end up. They end up in my project because that's what I use to mark off my charts. This is a mechanical pencil. I don't do highlighters. Okay, so there's that one. And my last WIP that I have is, I think might be a restart. Because I was trying to figure out why I don't want to work on this. And the reason I can think of is the fabric, and not because I don't like the fabric color. It's because I don't like the fabric color for this. So it is Heritage Sampler by Plum Street Samplers, which we've all seen this piece. I have it on 36 count Weeks Dye Works in the color Parchment, which I love this color. I love this color fabric. But it's so lame that this is not done because it has been a WIP for a minute. Oh, my word in heaven. Okay. And like I said, none of these are ironed. So this is where I'm at. I have the first flower in the corner, and I started going that top border because it has that border that goes all the way around. So here's the thing with these is I love all of these Rhode Island style samplers that she has. I have been sleeping on Jack's Bash. Don't know why I don't own that one because I own all the rest of them except for a new Constellation or a quality sampler. I don't know. You'll find out because I have the other one in there and all of my stuffs. So yes, I am hoping to get this one either restarted or finished. I might just stick with it because, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. It's hard to decide. Wow, there's even a needle in this. That's really good times. Nothing to see here. I might change out the bag too because I'm not really a big, huge fan of vinyl front bags. I know that it's nice to be able to see inside the bag, but I just don't like the plastic. So, yeah. Okay, so now I have this Longaberger basket. Hang on so I don't drop something. And it was during the time that shall not be named, and I was wanting a basket, like a Longaberger basket for my stitching, like to have like next to me to hold my stitching things. I thought that would be really cool to have something like that. And there was this lady in town far away. You could probably hear my washing machine going. I apologize. Let me go close the door real quick. Okay, sorry. So I went to this lady's house looking for one basket, but she had some other stuff like on her kitchen table that was like not ready to be sold yet. And I go, are you planning to sell those? Because she had a bunch of like this kind of stuff over there. And she's like, yeah, I just haven't listed it yet. I'm like, well, I'm interested in them. Can you tell me what the prices are? And she's like, of course. So we walked over to that section because there was nobody else there because it was like by appointment only. So I'm like going to this lady's house while my husband is literally outside like waiting for me because no one's allowed in the house because it's during the time of that we shall not name, right? Anyways, so I ended up getting this sweet basket and another one that has like a beautiful like casserole dish that has an eagle on it. And it has a lid, and it's a 25th anniversary. Trying to not drop that. It's a 25th anniversary, I believe, Collectors Club edition. And it has like I have the liner, cute liner. Isn't that cute? You can still find these if you're interested in trying to find something like this for your patriotic stitching. Look on the eBays. Or like Facebook Marketplace. That's where I found the Longaberger stuff. And finding someone who's just trying to downsize their Longaberger stuff, that's the best bet because they're a collector and they're less likely to just be, you know, from grandma's house that was used to hold things you don't know. Sometimes you can score stuff at thrift stores or like antique malls, but sometimes those are like knockoffs, so you just got to be careful. So anyways, in here is full of kits and patterns and partial kits. So the first thing I'm going to show you is stuff that I've recently acquired either from my birthday or from Market. So my friend Jeanette got me this kit called American Sheep by Les Secrets de Marie. I'm going to put that there because yeah, it's super cute. It comes with, I don't know if it came with the floss. I don't know if that's something Jeanette did or not, but I know that it comes with this part, like the spool, the wood spool thing, and it comes with a pattern. So she got me this at Market, which is super awesome. And also Market is Patriots In by Annie B's. I also want to get the one that's the pumpkin one. The one that has pumpkins. Sweet Wing Studio Patriotic Petunias. I mean, freaking cute, right? This was an exclusive for Farmer's Attic. And the owner, Lucy, is like amazing person. Like, she's super nice. I met her at market my first year I went there. She was super nice. Her husband is super nice. Her employee, I forget her name, I apologize, she's super nice too. Like, they're really fast to work with too. Like, she has a website and she has an Etsy. She has both. So yeah, but she went ahead and kitted this up for me, well, with the floss. So that's not market, that's just an exclusive. I don't know if it's still exclusive to them. When I purchased it, it was, but they're fast shippers. Samplers and Primitives Patriotic Bouquet, which is gorgeous. Interesting. I thought this one, oh yeah, by the way, so this is the thread list. It's this, and then there's another page in here. It's humongous. Yeah, and there's, anyway, that's gonna be, it'll be beautiful once it's stitched though. I think this stitch right here is one of those ones that's a rare stitch. Like, you don't see things like that often. I'm gonna show that one in a second. The next one I have is by Brenda Gervais, called Liberty. I bought this from Farm Girl Dry Goods, but I know that Jeanette from Bella Rose Needleworks, I know that she has this in her shop if you're looking for it. When I placed my order with Farm Girl Dry Goods, I did order what is this? A fat quarter of 36 counts Tobias by Seraphim and the floss to go with it, because I have to kit it anyways. So I just went ahead and picked that up when I placed the pre-order. And then I got this for my birthday from my kids, Patriotic Quartet, and it's called Land of the Free. And then I want to get these ones. Shall I just get all of them? I think that's fair, right? Okay, so that's what I have out. That was in the box of swag. That's box of swag stuff. This is also box of swag. So it is Americana White. So I'm gonna actually hold this. This is by October House. This was a market release. I'm gonna keep that out to show later with the other charts. So now I'm gonna show you some more kits. I'm gonna just pull things. Okay, so this is American Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. We've all seen this. Sorry for the glare. And I have the full kit of this. I have it like, so it's all in one thing. I hate plastic, but it's like, what can I do? So I have Farmhouse, what is this called? Old Amana Linen by Farmhouse Linens, which is the Michelle Rudy Farm Girl Dry Goods linen line. And then I also have the Color and Cotton floss pack. So I have that, and so I have the floss and the fabric for this, so I am ready to stitch. So that's awesome for that one. And let's see, what else? Oh, okay, so this one I have had in my stash and ready to stitch for a while now. This is a chart that is inspired by Pam from Pam and Steph. She finished this chart a little while ago, and I was like, what is that? That's amazing. It is Patriotic Sampler by Jeanette Douglas. She also has a Canadian one, so if you're in Canada, Jeanette Douglas is from Canada, and she has a Canadian version of this. But I have the called for fabric, which is lamb's wool by Witcholt, 32 count. And I also have the floss embellishment pack thing, because I and so that's why I'm stitching it on the 32 count versus like a 36, is because it has like the little embellishments in there. And so, yeah. So I have all of that ready to go, and I have this in all in one little baggie. I don't know why some are in like the bag with the chart and some aren't. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason here. Okie dokie. Let's see. Let's pull from the middle. Okay. So this is like a twofer. So let's get the fabric and the floss. And I even have like my working copy ready. So like when I'm ready to start it, I can just start it. So what I am talking about is out of the Souvenirs of Summer book by Blackbird Designs. This is the reprint. It was out of print for a long time, and then they finally brought it back into print. And I was like, wow, that's awesome, because I stitched a different stitch because I couldn't stitch the one I want to out of here. So real quick, I will show you the designs that are in this book. And it has this one. That's nice because it's just, you know, one color. But you could also make it multiple colors if you want to. Lake House Catch. And this one's super cute. I like this one a lot. This one's called Patriotic Bouquet. It's got some specialty stitches in there. And I have to like not show the pattern. There's that one. That one's called Summer Song. And like, I didn't even know that this book existed until I happened to see this stitch finished. And it was either Christy Crosshatch Quilts or it was Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. Those two, I want to stitch everything they do. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, but this one here, and it is called Summer Jubilee. And I have all the floss, and I do have the 36 count 18th Century Blackbird by R&R. I do have the fabric as well. Now, the one thing about this color palette is the red is Pomegranate by Gentle Art. So right here it reads red, right? But it can sometimes, depending on your dye lot, you might get something that's a little more pink. So just keep that in mind. You might have to do a floss change out, but you know, small price to pay. So this is something that I've had kitted, and it was technically my unicorn chart. And then all of a sudden I got it and I was like, oh, I don't want to stitch it now. Is that dumb? I think that's dumb. So I need to just stitch it and get it going. So this one is a probable start this year. I'm trying to start older things that I've had for a while first before I start newer charts. But let's just be honest here. I'm going to stitch what I want. So, oh, okay. This is a birthday stitch that I got from my best friend, Nina, Betsy's House by Plum Street Samplers. I freaking love this chart so much. And because it's a gift, it's not in the box of swag. It is, I mean, technically it should be, but I make my own rules. I don't have fabric for it yet, but I do have the floss. But I'm sure I have something in my my stash that would work. Let's see. It was stitched on 36 count vintage exemplar by Lakeside Linens. I'm not trying to track that down, so I'll just find something that I like that goes with the floss. And let's see. Oh, yes. So this is, I don't remember when this one came out. It's Greetings from St. Nick by Teresa Kogut. That's adorable. I love him. And I'm also insane because I have a plan. I have all the DMC except for 2 colors and the Classic Colorworks. Unless I decided to not do Classic Colorworks. I don't remember. In the fabric I plan to use. It calls for Mystic fabrics. No. It calls for Mystic by Picture This Plus. I am using Christmas Night 28 Count Lugana by Atomic Ranch. So you can kind of see that there. And that is what that's going to be like. I am probably going to be stitching this 2/1 10th stitch. So like over 1. That's my plan. Because I think he would be so cute if he was stitched like tiny, like a wee Santa. But I have enough fabric, I think, to stitch him with like stitching big, like normal 2/2 kind of thing, because he's not that tall. But I just thought it'd be so fun to stitch him like that, like 2/2 10th stitch. No, 2/1 10th stitch. I thought that would be different. So I might do that. I haven't fully decided yet. That's probably what I'm gonna do. That was my original plan. And my plan was to start that in July this year. But this year has been kind of crazy. So I'm not sure exactly when I'm gonna start it or what I'm gonna start this year. I'm just stitching what I am called to right now, and I feel like starting, then I will start something. So the next one I have, this is a gift from my friend Carolee. She's Elementary Stitcher on Instagram. She makes amazing things, and she does the kind where you cut away the cloth, whatever that is. I can't think of the name right now. She does all kinds of amazing stitchery. Like, she is so talented. Like, give her a follow. She's amazing. But this is by Whispered by the Wind, and it's called Every Heart. And it calls for, I think, yeah, it calls for Ale by Picture This Plus. I have something similar to this in my stash, so I might use something like that, or like a Vintage Country Mocha type fabric, whatever. And let's see, what's this one? Oh yes, okay, so this one is a stitch that my boys picked out for me for Christmas one year. This is also enabled by Pam from Pam and Stuff. I even have, yeah, I have everything in here. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. I have, it is Little House Needleworks, 13 Colonies. So cute. And it calls for Navy Beam by Lakeside Linens, but I think this is, I don't have a tag on this, but it's 36 count linen. I know that. And I have the floss. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's light mocha. I'm not sure. No, that's not right. That's just the bag. I'm not sure exactly what this is. I could tell. I'll put it on the screen if I remember to do that, but I want to start this one soon. It's huge though. It's like 173 by 253. It's giant. But what makes it giant is the border there that goes around with the stars. But what I really like is that center thing right here. So I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch the whole thing or not, or if I'm going to stitch from the center out and then make my decision. But I know myself and I hate doing borders. So if I don't do that border first and get the bones in, I won't stitch it. So I don't know. We'll see. we'll see when I start it. We'll see what I decide. Okay, so I've had this particular chart in my stash for quite a while. I don't have any of the floss. It is Souvenirs of the Heart. What is this called? Star Spangled Spectacular by With a Needle and Thread. I mean, how freaking cute is that? I love it. It is stitched over one on 28 count Lugana in the color Mushroom. So I picked some up from Kitten Stitcher. Mushroom Light Mocha is the same color technically, but it's by Zweigart. So that is my plan, is to stitch it over one like Brenda said to do. I like stitching over one. I know, who am I? Is that weird? So that's that one. I need the floss still. I don't have the floss for that one. So some things I'm gonna have to like do more of the kitting process, you know, but oh yes. This one I also do not have the floss for, but I do have the fabric. So this is a collaboration between Plum Street Samplers and Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler, Teresa Vanette, same person. So it's called Stars and Stripes. And I want to make sure I find the button. So I need to order that from Kitten Stitcher. Yeah, it's so cute. I love the different barns. They're so cute. And I bought these when they were released at Market last year, but they were originally released as like an exclusive. And I got the 36 count graham cracker color linen. It's got all the marks on it. I love this kind of stuff. This is what happens when you throw stuff into an oven and then it's nice and crispy. I'm here for that. I love that kind of stuff on fabric. Not everybody does, but I do. Yes, but I do need all the floss, and I don't know if there's any overlap, so I'll have to like look at that more closely, because I might have some of the colors too in my stash. I just haven't got that far yet to kit that up. Let's see. And what do we have? Okay, so this is called Liberty Pennies by Hands On Design. And this was a gift from my friend Jeanette last year for my birthday. And she also gifted me, she gave me the floss, which, I mean, that Kathy, she knows. There we go. So that's the floss color. This fabric is not the called for fabric, which is, I think, I have a working copy in here, so it's blocking everything. Slate by Fabrics by Stephanie is what the original was stitched on. But this is 28 count linen in the color Gunmetal by Weeks Dye Works. And I like this idea better because I can see it. Yeah. And also Weeks Dye Works is like, so you can see through it, you know, so it's very loose, and so I won't have any trouble stitching that, even in light that's not the greatest. And I bought this from Bella Rose Needleworks. So if you like this color combo, you can get the fabric from her. And she also got me the pin mini, so I can technically finish it the same way or similar and add the pin mini right there. Boop. So I have everything I need to start this one now, finally. I had Jeanette send this to me while I was in Arizona, and then I ended up not starting it because I was working on a different stitch that needs to get done. So, and I'm still working on it. Okay, so there is that one. So this is a release from, I think, last year, Grand Old Flag by With a Needle and Thread. And I have it kitted up with the floss. I mean, it's just 3 colors. And they're small pillows, so it's not like a big deal. It calls for Creme Brulee by R&R, but I mean, you could use any creamy color, creamy tan, whatever. You could use anything really, and it'd be beautiful. Because the white is, so the white is not actually white. It's like this taupe color. So this color here is not white. So the white is meant to be the fabric. So yeah. I think if I was going to start these, I'd probably do the star one first. I like that one best. Maybe I should stitch the one that I don't like as much, because then I won't stitch them all. But I don't have to stitch them all. I can do what I want, right? Okay. I don't want anything to fall down. Stay. Everything's kind of staying. Okay. Okay, now we're getting into just charts. That's all of the kits. So I have a free chart in here that is by Sweet Wing Studio called I Love This Land. But I can't show it because it's a free chart. So you need to go to either her blog or her website or check her Instagram. It's a Patriotic stitch that I think what she put out on Inauguration Day. Something like that. So this one here is a Judith Kirby design called the 4th of July. And I purchased my copy from A Stitch in Time in Saginaw, Michigan. I don't know if they are still open. I don't know any of that business, but that is their information. So you can check them out if you're interested in this design, because it's the only place you can buy it. Unless you get ripped off on the secondary market. So don't do that. So this is a controversial chart. It was released in 2021. Like to the masses, but originally it was a teaching piece that was meant to teach about the Civil War, and it's called Civil War Housewife. So I purchased this because I wanted to support the designer, because she was not intending any harm with this, with it, particularly that design there. This was meant to be a teaching piece, and people kind of blew it out of proportion from what it was meant to be, I guess. So I just wanted Linda Vinson from Needle Made Designs to know that I still support her as a designer, because she makes beautiful things. But this is meant to be a history piece, and you could just ignore this part and just stitch this one. So let's see. The next one is by Plum Street Samplers called Flag Thief. This design is the business, you guys. It's so freaking cute. I love it so much. That little bunny. And then the fox is like, wait a minute. I want you. I'm going to eat you. Quit stealing the flags. So cute. This one I think came out at Needlework Marketplace in like last year in 2024. It's called American Flag Quilt Sampler. And you guys, this design it's by Rosewood Manor. It was originally designed back in 1999, published in 2000, but she revised the pattern to make it easier to read. So this is a revised pattern, but it's the same but different. And it has, if you are a quilter, you know that, or maybe you don't, that each state in the Union has a block that is made for it or associated with it. So what this is the block made or associated with that state, and then it has it labeled with the state. So, and they are not, I think they are in order in which they became part of the Union. So it has original 13 here, I believe. Yeah, because this one here is just like a place filler. And then it goes, and then it continues on. So we are, like in right here, these are place fillers. Oh yeah, look at that. I love this. It's so good. But this is Idaho. I've seen different blocks that people prefer to use that are Idaho. Like I think there's one called Idaho Beauty. Okay, the next one I have that's a book is Broad Stripes and Bright Stars by Teresa Kogut. This book has so many amazing designs in it. And my friend Jeanette and I on our last channel, we actually hosted a stitch and quilt along last year or the year before. I don't know. It's been a while. But we had a hashtag Broad Stripes and Bright Stars Sal. And we stitched things, and I stitched this one here. It is a finish. Once I get all of my Patriotic stuff out, I will show that in person so you can see it, because I finished it on a super cute sheep by Paisleys and Polka Dots. So I'll go into more depth about that when I get it out. I'm trying to not show the chart, sorry. So this is Americana Bouquet. This is Broad Stripes and Bright Stars. So this was a quilt panel. If you're a quilter, you can still find, you can probably still find kits with the quilt panel in it. The quilt is super fun too. Comes together quick. This one is called God Shed His Grace. This one has 2 on it, 2 in the picture. So this is Old Glory. And I think the other one is called it's called Grand Old Flag. This one here. So if you look, the white stripes, there's no stitching except for the chevron, like zigzag. So it's not as much stitching as it appears. The next one is Long May She Wave. And I still have all the called for colors on the ring. And then this one is Our Trust. That's the one I stitched. And I stitched it on the called for Aztec Red by Wakeside Works. And that's all for that book. Broad Stripes, Bright Stars. I don't have the Hello America book. I don't know why. It's lame that I don't own it. Okay, next book is Sweet Land of Liberty by Blackbird Designs. And if you've watched my recent videos, I have stitched and finished this chart here. I need to get it framed. So let's see, we have Liberty Rose. We have Salute to Abigail. And this one is stitched in, I believe, what is this? Silken Colors Floss. But you can do a conversion to like Belle Soie or Dinky Dyes, or I mean any silk that you like, or even just do it in DMC. I bet it would still be just as beautiful in DMC if you don't want to do the whole silk thing. So this is In Full Glory. I want this pin. And American Eagle is the one that I stitched. And I stitched mine with called for mixture of DMC, Gentle Art, Weeks That Works, etc. on Confederate Gray. took me forever to finish it. I don't know why. And the last one in this book is Sweet Land of Liberty. Super cute finish. I like the ribbon going around. It's cute. So I'm pretty sure this book is still in print. Okay, now, all right, so October House has, October House Fiber Arts has released in the past few years Americana charts. The first one was Americana Red. Last year was Americana Blue. And this year was Americana White. And they're they're all over 200 stitches, and some of them are quite a bit. So this one is, let's see. So these are more like portrait style. And the white one is landscape. I'm going to try and hold them all so you can see. So you could technically, and they're similar in size for stitching. So if you stitched it on like a higher count, so like even like a 20 count Aida, or if you stitched it on a 40 count or a 36 count, they wouldn't be as giant. However, this one right here was stitched on a 36 count, and it is 15.5 inches by 12 inches. So it's pretty big, but it's not like the stitching is dense. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stitching, but it's not like it's a full coverage or something, you know? And it's monochromatic, so you can stitch it in whatever. And if you prefer like this one only, you could just stitch that one. Or if you only like the red one, you could just do the red one, whichever one you prefer, or none, or all, or whatever. So I have all three now, and I knew it was an immediate purchase to get this one for Market. So I got that one from, I think, Farm Girl Dry Goods. So this one I purchased at Shepherd's Bush. And if I can remember, I will insert a picture of what their conversion is, because they do have a conversion. I'm not going to tell you what the conversion is. You have to purchase the floss or the chart from them to get the conversion. But it is Stars and Stripes by With Thy Needle and Thread. I mean, the chart by itself is gorgeous, but I didn't even look at it twice until I saw their conversion. And of course, when you see stuff stitched up, it makes it more beautiful. So, you know, this stitched up, I know is going to be gorgeous, just as the called for colors. Let's see if it'll focus, maybe. There it goes. Super cute. I love this. So that is that one. This is by Silver Creek Samplers. I've had this one for quite a long time. Sweet Liberty. It's like a cup of tea. This one is called Sweet Liberty wait. This one's called Sweet Liberty also, but it's not Liberty. Like, the other one is Liberty. This one is Sweet Liberty. And this is by Screen Door Needleworks. Super cute. This one is called Christmas with Martha. And this is also by Screen Door Needleworks. I have this book in here, and I don't know why. I think there's a Patriotic stitch in here that I can't show you anyway, because it's just the chart, probably. That's probably why I have it in here. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why have this in here. There's a reason, I know, but anyway, so I have that in there. And then let's see. We're nearing the home finish, friends. Okay, so I have these Plum Street samplers, Blue Skin and Nelson. So they're meant to be companion pieces. So and I've had this one for a long time. I don't know where I purchased it. Knee High by Hands On Design. Quilts of barn and corn. We have corn all around us where I live. Memorial Day by Hands On Design. I saw this one in person at Market and it's gorgeous. Okay, so the one that I'm missing is a new constellation because I have the Equality sampler by Plum Street Samplers as well. So I'm missing a new constellation. And then I also have God Bless America by Plum Street Samplers. Plum Street just does Americana well. You know who else does, and I'm realizing I don't have any charts, is Chessie and Me. I've been sleeping on those. This is by Erica Michaels, called Liberty Games. I mean, so freaking cute. So part of the reason why I wanted this chart is because if you have seen that one design by Lila Studio that has the giant Continental Congress building on it, I can't think of what it's called, and there's like a ton of backstitch on it, and it's a huge piece. It's a huge piece. And I love that stitch, and I've seen someone stitch it in person. My friend Sherry stitched it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But I don't want to stitch that giant, huge building. So this has one on it, so I can stitch this instead. It's super cute. And it's like Scrabble, like, and it's got, I've actually seen, the berry and the drum as well. And I thought that was super cute too. So if you could just do pieces of it. So there's that one. George Decorates for Martha by Plum Street Samplers. Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street Samplers. Apparently, I like Plum Street Samplers. And this one's also ginormous. It's $3.49 by $2.11. I don't know if I'll ever stitch this, but I wanted it in my stash in case I decided that I wanted to stitch it someday. So the last one I have, excuse me, is called Patriotic July by Blackbird Designs. And it is 3 stockings for July. So you can have like a stocking tree and you can have a bunch of different stockings on the tree. So it comes with 3 designs. So that's like one of them. And then it also has these 2 right there. And I really like these 2 a lot. And I've stitched quite a few of the Blackbird Design stockings. I just haven't finished them, like FFO'd them. But yeah, so that is all of my stash for That's Patriotic. There are still quite a few charts out there that I want. And I'm very curious, like, what your favorite designer for patriotic stitching is. Like, is it Plum Street? Like, is it Chessie and Me? Like, is there somebody else that you really are drawn to that does Americana or patriotic stitching, summer stitching that you really like? Because there's so many out there. We are so blessed to have so many talented designers that put out amazing things. I am looking at my stash. I have a boatload of Plum Street samplers. I have like a few Brenda Gervais charts. I need to get more because I know there's a few others that I really like. There's Hands On Design in there, and there's Blackbird Designs, and then a few others sprinkled in. But like, who's your favorite? Like, I was on 123 Stitch the other night just looking at Chessie and Me stuff, and I was like, how do I not have this chart? You know who else is really good is Finally a Farm Girl. She does really good patriotic charts. So like, that's also a really good designer. But yeah, so I'm curious to see who your favorites are. Like, out of all of these, like, which one would you start? You know, if you were gonna start something, which one would you start? Even if I don't have it kitted, which one would you start? Or out of my WIPs, which one was your favorite? I'd be interested to know. So if you don't mind giving me a comment and like and subscribe and all the business that you're supposed to do, I really, really do appreciate it. It does help my channel. And then I know that you guys like these videos. So I will see you guys in the next real floss tube, not an extra. Probably in a couple days when I have some more progress on some things. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.